Hi, I'm Michelle. I help first-time home buyers here in Southern California save time, money, and I help make the process smooth. Welcome to part 3 of this video series of how to buy a home. I am so happy that you're here. How did you guys like videos 1 and 2? Have you seen them? If you haven't, feel free to go ahead and check them out on the playlist. You'll see that on my homepage. If you're thinking about buying your first home, there's going to be one move that's going to make everything easier. And that's getting pre-approved by your lender before you start home shopping. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the difference between pre-qualification, pre-approval, and a fully underwritten loan approval. Why the full loan approval gives you a major advantage when writing offers. What documents you'll need, lender tips, and insider advice most buyers miss, the top mistakes to avoid during the process. Let's make sure that you're ready to buy with power and not panic. Let's dive in. Section 1, why full loan approval matters more than ever. Don't get me wrong, getting pre-approved for your home loan is the industry standard. It's the industry standard. Everyone is getting pre-approved for their loan. We don't want to be standard. We want to know what the standards are, but we want to be better than that. Price and terms matter, not just price. And this right here, we are diving into terms. Really quick, not to get off on a tangent, but really quick because, this is a first-time home buyer's course. When you see a home that you like, you're going to be submitting a bid, and we're going to talk about this in a future video. So make sure that you subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. But when you purchase a home, you submit an offer, AKA a bid. And so that's everybody competing against, all the buyers competing against one another. And so you want to make your offer stand out. So if pre-approval is basic, what do we want to do? We don't want to do basic. We want to stand out and go extra. This is the full loan approval. This is why I teach on this. I preach it. So just wanted to throw that out there. Here's a couple bullet points of why that really matters. Okay, let's get into it. Sellers know that you're solid and you're serious. There's no guessing. We can shorter contingencies and close faster. If you guys are wondering, okay, Michelle, you're speaking that real estate jargon and put it in layman's terms, contingencies, close faster. What is that? We will get into that in another video. For right now, let's just say terms of the loan can be sweetened, and the times that we have to do our due diligence in the home, which is getting the inspections done, appraisals, loan contingencies, and the time to close escrow, we can shorten that down when we have full loan approval. So it makes the offer good, especially if you are in a situation where the home is vacant and they want to close quickly. We don't have to use these shortened terms, but if the situation calls for it, then we definitely are armed with the best possible negotiation tool that we could use. You shop with confidence because you already know your exact numbers. Section 2, understanding the difference. Okay, so let's break it down really quick so that you understand what each item is. Let's start with number 1, the pre-qualification. So it's basically like this. It's basically over the phone. It's a phone call, or it can even, nowadays, a lot of things are online. And so you'll get asked, what is your credit score? Or if you don't know it, if you don't have a copy of your credit report, which you can get a free one, don't do Credit Karma, do Experian.com. You get a full free credit report and go there so that you can take a look at what your credit score is, because that's the Experian is used. It's Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So go ahead and get your free credit report at Experian and get the full credit report where it's going to show you all of your debts and your credit score. So you can utilize that. Let's say you know what that credit score is. So you put in your credit score and then you put in the debt and you give an estimate annually. What do you make annually? You let them know and you tell them how much money that you have to spend for down payment and for closing costs. And so what they do is they run the numbers and they tell you, okay, it looks like you can qualify for a house in this range or for this purchase price. It's all hypothetical. That's pre-qualification. Okay. Pre-approval is they do that because it's a phone interview but they back it up with documentation. So you're going to need to submit an application and you're going to need to submit the documentation, which we're going to get into next. They review it. The loan officer reviews it. So mortgages, when you get a home loan, it goes through two channels. It goes through the channel number one, which is the loan officer. And trust me, who you work with, oh my gosh, I have horror stories, but I won't get into them because I don't want to make this super long. You guys can ask me on the side, but you want to work with a reputable someone coming from a recommendation, someone coming from a referral, say, hey, I've worked with so and so, they're good. Trust me on this. I've worked with the good, the bad, and the ugly in this area. Okay. It goes through the first channel, which is the loan officer. And the loan officer says, based on what I see, based on my experience, and based on what my calculations look like with all the data, I have a good feeling that the underwriter will approve you for X amount. That's pre-approval. And you can submit an offer with a pre-approval because step two typically happens, which is it's a 1-2 step process. It's only 2 steps. When the file goes through the underwriter, that's when the underwriter takes a look at it when there's a property in place, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work and it takes up a lot of time. So segueing on to the fully underwritten loan approval, what does that look like? The underwriter gives the final stamp of approval saying, okay, I looked at everything. I reviewed what the loan officer submitted to me, because it goes from the loan officer to the underwriter. So the loan officer submits it to the underwriter. So based on that whole complete file, oh yeah, looks good. Looks good. Okay, yeah, loan officer did a great job. Yeah, it all aligns. Let me go ahead and give that stamp of approval. Or they could say, because 2 eyes are better than one, and a lot of times human error happens, and it's just sometimes it's I'm sure most of the times it's unintentional, but we're human and we make mistakes, and that's why the underwriter is there. It's the second set of eyes. And they catch something that was missed. And this is why there are contingencies. Contingencies are written in the contract. So if you don't qualify for your loan per the underwriter, then you can cancel the transaction and get your deposit back. Again, we're going to be going into those details later on. But, before you look at a house, if you have that fully underwritten loan approval, that's what I was saying before. It removes all of the confusion for the seller, because they already know, oh, they did step 1 and 2 already. That's already done. Wow, they're prepared. Okay, so we know what we're working with here. We don't have to worry about, because you're going to do an appraisal, you're going to do an inspection, and investigate the house. Right here, the loan part, okay, we don't have to climb that mountain, and we're not going to be waiting to see, did they get approved? Did they get approved? You're already coming in with that. And I know I'm spending a lot of time on this topic, but I do want to thoroughly explain that to you guys so that you do understand. So those are the 3 differences. And here's a quick note. Not every lender does a fully underwritten approval. So it's a really good idea. You don't have to, but it's a really good idea to find one that does. And if you don't have one, I would be happy to introduce you to mine. Section 3, documents you'll need. To get approved for your home loan, here are the documents that you're going to need. A government issued photo ID, driver's license, ID, your social security card for credit check, your last 2 years of tax returns, or if you filed an extension, proof of that extension being filed, the last 2 years of W-2s, 30 days most recent pay stubs, 60 days of the most recent bank statements, and all pages at the very end of the statement. Sometimes it says intentionally left blank. Don't exclude that. That's a tip. they're going to ask for that. 60 days most recent investment or retirement savings accounts. Or if you get them quarterly, the most recent quarterly statement. And then if you're self-employed, you're most likely going to need a P&L, but talk to your lender specifically and ask them what you'll need for self-employment proof. Sometimes they'll ask you for 6 months bank statements or 12 months bank statements from the business, so you can see what type of loan program you're getting and what they'll need for that specific loan. If you don't want to have the spammers start calling you, I recommend opting out, because once your credit is pulled for a mortgage inquiry, then the spammers are going to just start calling you. You're going to notice your phone's going to start ringing a lot. Like, hey, how do you know I'm applying for a mortgage? That's because they're running your credit and the inquiry is a mortgage. So there's a website. It's optoutprescreen.com, and I'll link it in the description here for you guys. Section 4, do's and don'ts, mistakes to avoid during the process. Once you're in this phase, your lender is going to be evaluating your income, your credit, and your assets. The goal is to maintain the file as clean as possible throughout the entire process. This way, there's no surprises down the line. All right, so here are the do's. Maintain consistent work hours. Talk to your lender before accepting gift funds from family. Notify your lender about any upcoming vacations. Save all recent pay stubs or asset statements. Share updates about any raises. Keep communication open with your lender. Okay, so here are the don'ts. Don't change jobs, pay bills late, open or close credit accounts, or take on new debt. Become unreachable, especially when on vacation or sometimes for people on the weekends. Deposit large cash sums or move money between accounts without talking to your lender first. Make big purchases or splurge on new items. If you're unsure about anything, just go ahead and ask your lender. The goal is to protect your approval all the way to closing. You guys, getting fully underwritten approved isn't just a good idea, it's a power play in today's market. It makes your offer stronger, your experience smoother, and it can even help you save money on your home loan. And if you haven't done so already, feel free to grab my first-time buyer toolkit. The link is in the description. It includes a step-by-step checklist to keep you organized from pre-approval all the way to key day. And if you would like a personal intro to my lender, someone who will walk you through a fully underwritten approved loan, not just a pre-qual, schedule a 15-minute phone consultation. The link is also below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider sharing this too with a friend who's also thinking about buying a home this year. I appreciate you because it does really help me reach more people that need this kind of guidance. And stay tuned for part 4. In the next video, we're going to be talking about how to work with your realtor, what buyer representation really means, who pays the commission, and how to really find a realtor, a good one that protects your best interests. Make sure to hit subscribe, and I will see you in part 4.